What is going on, everybody? Simply 10 here today with a brand new episode of the 10 things that you should know before buying a Lego set. Today's episode is going to be all about one of the brand new Lego Harry Potter sets from a wave that has set a precedent, I believe, in being available like all across the world on the same date, that date being June 1st. Usually, and in fact all the other waves that came out on June 1st this year, usually with those June 1st sets, only Europe gets the sets around this time, whereas people who live in North America, like myself, have to wait all the way until August. However, for some reason, I'm not quite sure why, because all the other waves are still this way, but for some reason, us folks who live here in North America got lucky enough to get these sets on the same day of release as those who live across the ocean. And well, I'm here to tell you today the 10 things that you might want to know before buying one of these very special, in my opinion, sets, and I hope that Lego continues to do this. And while this set may be small, in my opinion, I think it's a pretty cool one, and I can't wait to show it to all of you guys. Just one thing that I would like to mention before we jump in here is the fact that I am a channel here on YouTube, which means that I make content like this fairly often, so if you enjoyed this video, that means you will enjoy all of my other content as well, so be sure to hit that subscribe button before you move on, because you don't want to miss out on my next great video, along with those prizes if you guys can get me to 1,000 subscribers. I don't think we want this in the middle of the rest of the thing, so I'm gonna move it. Alright, so the very first thing that you should always know before buying a Lego set is the basics that you learn just by looking at the box or even by looking on a retailer website online. In terms of what this set brings to the table, this is set number 76386, the Polyjuice Potion Mistake. And in terms of what this set brings to the table, this is set number 76386. Okay, I think I figured it out. And in terms of what this set brings to the table, this is set number 76386, the Hogwarts Polyjuice Potion Mistake. It comes with 217 pieces and costs $20 here in the United States. Now, this is a 20th anniversary Lego Harry Potter set, so you'll be getting a golden Harry Potter, along with a few other figures that I will go over later in the minifigure section of this video. The box art has also changed this year because it's the 20th anniversary set, and I've got to say that I think it looks really nice. I really like the additional gold accents around the entire thing. I think that it looks I think they did a really good job. It looks really well done, and I enjoy this brand new box art. And since I'm showing off this box to you guys, it's time to flip this around and show you the back of it. Now, I'm so sorry, I've already opened and built this set, so that kind of looks ugly there on the side, but this gives you a pretty general impression of what the box is going to look like when you buy it in the store or order it online. And it's just a typical back of the box. It shows a couple of the cool things about this set, including the fact that all the figures have dual faces that are very unique and very specific to this set. And then the figures here just, messing around with the Polyjuice Potion, along with showing off the singular feature of this set, which I'll be sure to go over when I get to it. Alright, so here at number 2, the next thing that I'd like to show off to you guys is the instruction manual. And there's not much to say about this instruction manual. It's just a $20 set. But in terms of what this set brings to the table with the building experience, it's definitely nothing to boast. It's a pretty easy, pretty simple build. It took me about maybe like a half hour probably to 45 minutes to build the entire thing. And it's pretty basic, and you can look at all these instructions online if you're really that interested in exactly how it all turns out. But I just gotta say that, it's a pretty stable build, pretty easy build, and definitely just a fun little enjoyable thing to do for about a half hour. Alright, so here at number 3, we're gonna take a look at the figures in this set, and this set being a $20 set would obviously make the figures a very big and integral part of the entire thing. And well, I decided to start today's figures off with the golden anniversary figure, this one being Lego Harry Potter, as you can obviously tell here. And well, I think they did a really good job with him. I think they designed him really well. As much as I don't really like the gold, it's just okay to me in my opinion, but in terms of the fact that they wanted to do gold and they decided to go with it, they produced these golden figures in the best way possible. I think he looks really nice. I really like the little sparkles even on his chest. I thought that was a nice little touch just to make him look a little more glimmery. As you can see when you move him in the light, you can sort of see that they're a little bit shiny and a little bit of reflective material on them, which I think is a really nice touch. I think that it looks really cool. You can see it glimmering right there when you go back and forth like that. And then he has a golden wand along with all the other golden anniversary figures. That's a pretty cool thing, along with his stand that I'm sure is also a brand new color for this mold. And then coming around to the backside here, you can see that he has the 20 years of Lego Harry Potter on the backside, even though, hasn't really been 20 straight years, it's just been 20 years total. But either way, they did a really nice job designing this figure, and just in case you were wondering, no, he does not have an extra face, and that's because he's definitely more of a display figure, so facial expression doesn't really matter when it comes to this figure specifically. Next up here, we have the normal Harry Potter in this set, and one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the figures section is the fact that every single one of these figures is an exclusive figure to this Lego set. And I know what you're thinking, he's just like a Frankenstein exclusive minifigure, because we've seen this hair, we've seen this face, we've seen this on Draco Draco in like Diagon Alley or something like that. And then coming around to the backside here, you can see that he just has a hood on the backside and no leg printing whatsoever. But the back of the figure is actually cooler than you think, because this is where the really exclusive part comes in, because when you take his hair off, he becomes Gregory Goyle, or as most people know him, just Goyle. And if you think that was cool, wait until I give him the hair that they even provide for Goyle. Next up here, we have a very similar figure with Ron Weasley. As you can see here, that he's a very Frankenstein exclusive minifigure, because he has Draco's torso, and then he has that maybe a new face print, I'm not exactly sure. And then coming around to the backside here, he also has the normal hood, just like Harry Potter had. And then also just like Harry Potter, he has a really cool thing when you take his hair off, because he transforms into Vincent Crabbe. And then also just like Goyle, they give you Crabbe's hair. So yes, now you can have your very own Crabbe and Goyle figure for the very first time ever, thanks to this really fun, really awesome Lego set. But the fun doesn't end there, because you also get Hermione Granger in the set with what I believe to be the very first time they've used a translucent green piece inside of this cup. And then as you can see here, she's a Frankenstein exclusive minifigure, and when you turn it around to the backside, she has the same print just like the rest of them. And you can take her hair off so you can see the hood a lot easier. And then underneath, oh, wait a second. This Hermione figure does have a different persona, just like the other two in Harry and Ron. However, hers is done a little differently. This Hermione gets 2 of her own face prints, because that's basically all that they need for this Hermione, because the other Hermione gets this really awesome exclusive cat face mold, which I think they did a really good job designing. I think that this Cat Hermione is a really, really fun addition to the set, and may even be better than the Goyle and Crabbe figures. However, that's left to be said by, you when you go and get this one. And it's honestly a great exclusive figure to round out the entire exclusive figure collection of this set. With the figures out of the way, here at number 4, it's time to talk about the features of this set, and there definitely aren't very many. There really isn't that much in terms of features that this set offers. For one though, this set does come with 2 trading cards, and I wasn't sure exactly where to fit these in, so I decided to put them in the features section, and these are technically, they're supposed to be random, so I'm very curious to see if exactly they are random across all these other like Polyjuice Potion Mistake sets. Like if I bought multiple of these sets, I wonder if I get different trading cards. Not exactly sure if these will ever become like cool things to collect in the Lego Harry Potter community, but I mean, they are pretty, just fun little things to have, and I'm glad that they came with them. In addition to this pot right here is really not supposed to be stuck down anywhere. Like, it can go wherever you want it to go, wherever it pleases, but that black part's supposed to come off with it, so yeah, there you go. This pot and this spoon, as you can see, both things can go wherever you want them to go. They can just move around wherever. You can hook it down wherever you want on this set. But I mean, as far as features go, it's definitely not an exciting thing, and definitely something that I wouldn't point out if this set was bigger. These 2 potions right here can do the same thing, and I'm not going to really demonstrate it, but I'm still going to move these anyways, because they're actually in the way of the next feature that I'm going to show off to you, which is arguably the most important feature of this set. And that feature involves the sink right here. And yes, this sink is a magical Chamber of Secrets sink, which is the one that they use to enter into the Chamber of Secrets. And no, you don't have to speak parcel tongue to it in order for it to open. All you have to do is just flip up the faucet right here. I feel like the faucet is the best hand grab place, but I mean, there really isn't a good place to grab. That's honestly one of the worst parts of this feature, is there's really no good place to grab. But when you flip it up, as you can see, there's a hole underneath even. So see when I lift, this thing right here is also not very stable, but I'll talk about that in a second. But when I lift it up, you can see that the background behind it changes, because there's actually a hole down there. That's not any bricks or anything. Like, I mean, you can see my Apocalypse Berry through the hole right there. It's a very, just a fun hole, and something that's pretty useless unless you get the Chamber of Secrets itself, but, I mean, it's there, and it's fun to have. The final feature of this set is very minor, but I mean, this door right here can open, so you can put someone into the bathroom stall if you wish to. Like Hermione, for instance, would be a great person to put inside here, because, she's the one who hides in the stall the whole time. But with this figure that I'm about to bring in here, which is Hermione, you can see that it's a rather tight fit. Like, it's very hard to get your figure inside of this stall. And it's probably, one of the weirdest parts about the set is the fact that the stall is so small that you can't even fit the figure in here that's supposed to fit. So yeah, I discovered the secret. You just take her wand out of her hand, and then she fits in there a little bit easier. And you also have to put the camera down, so you're not doing it one-handed. That's definitely a big help when you have 2 hands to do it with. Alright, so the 5th thing that I'd like to talk about with this Lego set is the design. And while this is a small Lego set, I've got to say that there is quite a bit of pretty nice design put into it. Probably the best part of this entire build in terms of design is the Chamber of Secrets sink right here. There's no way that you could beat this with a little stall right here for a toilet, or this little designing around here on the edge, or the blue floor. The main thing definitely is the sink right here. And while like you saw earlier when it fell off, this is actually a very flimsy part of the build. I'm not exactly sure why they made it so flimsy. Maybe it's to have easier access to the inside, and I could potentially see that they did that on purpose, especially because I'm doing it right now to show you this bathroom right here. And well, as you can see the sink a lot easier now, and I think that it looks really nice. I think they did a really good job designing a very simple but very nice looking sink. Like, it doesn't take very long to build. It's not really these super complicated building techniques. It's just a really nice, easy way to make a really good looking sink. On the other side here, we have the bathroom stall that opens up, and inside you can see a toilet. In my opinion, probably not the best designed toilet ever, and it's also kind of weird because, you know, the figure has to stand on top of the toilet like I showed you earlier. They can't sit down because they're minifigures. And then spinning this thing around to the other side, you can see that there's clips here in order to attach it to other pieces of Hogwarts. And then on the other side here, there really isn't that much to show, but there are two nice looking windows where you're basically just looking into like the white part of the sink, and then you can sort of see like half of it. And the same goes here where you can see actually like right into the bathroom, so that's kind of a funny thing they have right there. And then the main window you can't even see anything through, so that's rather interesting, but it does have a nice aesthetic look to it, along with a very small nod to the other green roofs that are involved with this piece that it's supposed to connect to. Next up here at number 6, it's time to talk about the stickers, and while there isn't very many stickers in this set, as you can see here, the only 3 stickers are these 3 mirrors. So yes, these 3 mirrors that you can see right here are the only 3 stickers in this entire set. And while I gotta say that these mirrors definitely add a lot, like if you don't want to include these stickers, then you're not gonna have mirrors there, which is gonna be a little strange. So these are definitely pretty important stickers, and I mean, you can't be like that mad about it because they're the only stickers. So I think LEGO did a really good job designing this very small set with very few stickers, and including only the 3 necessary ones because they don't really make shiny pieces like this anymore. So usually they do that with stickers these days. At number 7 here, some additional notes that I feel that are worth mentioning about this specific set is the fact that it doesn't really look the best on its own. I really do feel the need to combine it with the bigger Chamber of Secrets set that just came out because it really is kind of this strange thing on its own. However, with that being said, you might, not have the money to go and get the Chamber of Secrets set, but if you have any of the other previous Hogwarts sets, in my opinion, this is actually one you can actually integrate with some of the older ones, even though it's meant to go with the newer scheme. These 2 pins on the sides perfectly fit into any of the other Hogwarts things, and then on this side, like I showed you earlier, there's only 2 like sand green pieces. So I mean, there's sand green on the other one, just not very much. And it really allows for easy integration with whatever Hogwarts Castle piece you have, whether it's an old one or a newer one. And number 8, it's time to bring everything together to talk about the price of this LEGO set. Now, as I stated at the beginning of this video, this set costs $20 in the United States. And while the purpose of this section is to go more in depth about the price and talk about whether or not this set is worth it. Now, the reason why this isn't number 10 is because just because a set is worth the price doesn't mean it's, you should go and get it. So let's go ahead and talk about the price though. So yeah, in my opinion, I think that this is a really great value for $20. The only thing that kind of is a little small for $20 is this build right here. But I mean, it is over the required price to piece ratio that some people like to go by, and it is, I mean, it's over 200 pieces. It's just kind of small because it uses quite a few small pieces when building it. But I mean, with that being said, you do get 4 figures, which is a great value for $20. You rarely see sets this small with this many figures, especially considering the fact that the Golden Harry Potter minifigure is arguably the best, Golden Harry Potter minifigure because he's literally a Golden Harry Potter, whereas the rest of the ones in other sets are different figures from Harry Potter. I think that the characters are what really adds to the value of this set. I mean, not only is the Harry Potter an exclusive, but so are the rest of these 3 figures. Like, you can't get Crabbe or Goyle or Hermione with her cat hair in any other LEGO set as of this date. So the question comes down to whether or not you're willing to pay $20 for these figures, because the build is just okay on its own, but it's the figures that really make it great. So if you're really looking for these figures, that's what makes the $20 price point really worth it. Here at number 9, it's time to tell you my own personal feelings and opinions surrounding this LEGO set. And while in my opinion, this is the best part, but I mean, once again, that's my opinion. But yeah, over the short period of time that I've owned this set, I've found that I've really enjoyed it. I think it's a really great LEGO set, and I especially find the fact that you finally get a bathroom in Hogwarts for the first time ever, and then you also get a really fun entrance into the Chamber of Secrets if you get the Chamber of Secrets set, which I do own. So just those 2 things on its own really makes this set worth it to me. And then in addition to it, you get 4 exclusive figures that have never existed before in the brand new Harry Potter thing since they've revamped it a few years ago. I know that they said this has been going for 20 years, but it really hasn't. They skipped like a big chunk of time in between, but they still apparently consider it the 20th anniversary, so we're just gonna go with it and enjoy it while it lasts, because we do get a fun Golden Harry Potter minifigure in it, which is in my opinion the best one to get, and it's in the cheapest set, so that's pretty cool. And honestly, I wouldn't have expected anything more from this LEGO set. Bringing it back here at number 10, it's time for the final verdict. And yes, the final verdict is what you should go by completely. Like, just take my word for it because, yeah, no, don't really. You need to decide whether or not on your own based on what I've shown you that if this set is good. But in terms of what I've experienced with this set, I think it is a solid like 9 out of 10. The figures are really great in this set, which is what $20 sets are really about, but the build itself is a little lackluster, especially considering the fact that it's not going to be very great on display on its own. You're really going to want to combine it with other Hogwarts pieces like the ones that I have over there, or even one of the newer pieces that's meant to go with would definitely look a lot better alongside this set instead of it just being on its own. It's also pretty cool how it comes with these trading cards. I think that was a fun thing that LEGO introduced this year, and I'll be curious to see if they continue that trend or if it's just a one-year thing. This set just has a lot of great value in it, and I think that it's definitely a really great addition to the Harry Potter overall lineup, and especially for this wave, I think it's a great $20 set to sort of round it off as the cheapest one that came out in the month of June. But yeah, anyways, that's all that I have to say for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know by leaving a like or even a comment in the section down below, letting me know how this helped you, or if it didn't help you, or what your favorite part about this set is. And also don't forget about my invitation to subscribe at the beginning of this video, along with those prizes if you guys can get me to 1,000 subscribers. In the end though, it's okay if you don't do any of those things, because what I'm really hoping for is that I entertained you enough and informed you enough that you're willing to come back for the next one.